The overall market conditions continue to strike fear on a global scale as the concerns about the economic fallout grow. Recession fears, soaring inflation, supply chain shortages, and a hawkish stance by the Fed are some of the key issues that generate a bothersome picture of the future outlook of the economy and the US equities sector in particular. This report will present a comment on the current news and developments of Meta platforms, Apple and NVIDIA, and conclude with a technical analysis of the last. Meta Platforms made headlines last Friday when it announced the acquisition of the burgeoning startup Lofeld, a VR haptic technology company, providing another boost to their virtual reality ambitions. The acquisition follows suit after the Federal Trade Commission dropped charges from a lawsuit filed last month, which attempted to block Meta's acquisition of another small virtual reality company, fearing that the tech giant's domination in the VR sector proves anti-competitive and violates antitrust laws. Since VR technology accelerates at a fast pace and Meta aims to make VR experiences more like day-to-day normal life, where all senses are engaged for maximum immersion. By acquiring Lofeld, the company aims to producing and integrating touch in VR simulated worlds for a more lifelike experience. The company specializes in haptic technology, which essentially replicates the experience of touch in a virtual setting, felt through forces of vibrations hardware devices such as a VR hand controller or video console controller. What Meta particularly looks to achieve by this acquisition is build devices such as haptic gloves that could give users a more immersive experience in the metaverse, which is a virtual world where users can interact with each other. The haptic gloves, in a sense, will allow users to feel digital objects in the virtual world, let it be a ball dropped from another to another. The user could feel the ball in their hand physically. We see the acquisition as another step to Meta's VR ambitions, which could in turn provide positive for the share's price. Apple is hosting its first product event later today, the 7th of September, and the tech giant is expected to unveil its latest iPhone, Apple Watch, AirPods, and iPad product lines. The spotlight, as expected, will be focused on its flagship iPhone 14 lineup models, which have been the prime driver of the tech giant's profitability since its inception. iPhone Pro, Pro Max, Max, and base model will be announced, and analysts as well as consumers will be paying close attention at where the prices will be set by Apple amidst a period where inflation ravages the markets and consumer spending points towards slowdown. The baseline phones are expected to carry the same price as the previous iPhone 13 model, while analysts expect that the higher phones will get a price increase. This alone could in theory boost Apple's revenues for Q4. However, from a historical observation, the following quarter tends to yield higher revenue growth due to the festive holidays periods. Besides the phones, the new Apple Watch is another point of interest, as the company attempts to keep up the Garmin in wearable battle by offering an upgraded version with a more durable titanium alloy cover suitable for harsh athletic endurers. Overall, even though currently the US equities market faces significant pressures amidst the rising tide of global economic uncertainty, geopolitical risk, and elevated inflationary pressures, Apple could prove a safe bet for institutional investors' portfolios for the long term, mainly due to their stakeholder-friendly. The US Department of Commerce unrevealed details for implementation of the $50 billion program, which is meant to boost domestic semiconductor manufacturing, and NVIDIA could benefit substantially. The bill is set to lay the foundations and establish a domestic production for the creation of a chip-making industry within the US, cutting ties and reducing its heavy reliance from nations in the Far East, such as Taiwan and China, bypassing and disruptions and supply chain shortfalls experienced during the past 2 years. The details come nearly 1 month after President Biden signed the CHIPS Act into the law, as the US looks to ensure domestic chip production amid rising tensions within China and disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. On the other hand, during last week, NVIDIA announced that the US government officials have ordered the chipmaker to stop exporting its two high-tech chips to China, namely A100 and H100, both crucial for strategically important research facilities. The development showcases once again the lengths the US government is willing to go to contain China from attaining AI supercomputer superiority by imposing a technology blockade on arrival following the recent tensions between China and Taiwan. Effectively, the restriction could have a material impact on NVIDIA's profitability, since reported that in the last quarter, Chinese chip sales alone amounted to $400 million. Thus, in our assessment, NVIDIA is prone to face more headwinds for the foreseeable future.